Okay, are you guys ready for part two of my video vlog? My negative Nelly video vlog? You know that old saying, be careful what you ask for, or at least be specific? I didn't think about that this morning when I was talking about how I'm so tired and I really want a day off. The universe heard me and it granted my wish, but at a cost. My car decided that it wanted to go into the shop today. And I don't have any way to get to work tomorrow since my car's in the shop. So I'm getting an unexpected day off. And the first thing I was thinking was, oh, wow, I'm going to have all this free time. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to pick up the kids. I can't go to work. I am going to be able to get this done and that done. And I thought, no, no. The reason I wanted some time off is so that I could do some self care. And I think I am going to try and sleep in. I want to get an 8 hour night. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't even know if I actually require 8 hours, but I know I'm tired. So I think more than six would be nice. So I'm going to try to sleep in somewhat and then maybe have a little bit of a mini spa day in the morning. There's some things I need to do and see what, well, I think that will make me feel better. And then maybe it'll give me some time to think because when you're constantly going and doing things, you don't really stop to think about what's going to happen next. You're just like in cruise control. You're just going from one thing to the next, and it's like I need to stop and think about what all's going to be happening and write things down so I'm a little more organized because I'm very disorganized. And yeah, I'm going to see what I can do with that. So yeah, that's my plans for my unexpected day off tomorrow. But before that happened, when I went to work and I was so tired, I was thinking, I'm 63. At what point can I retire? I mean, I know I can't retire right away. I like to spend money. I do. I have grandkids and I like to go and do things. And, life is expensive. If I was a minimalist, yeah, I could probably quit work now, but I'm not ready to be a minimalist. We tried at some point. My daughter, when she lived here, she was trying to encourage us to do that, but it's really hard to be a minimalist and to not spend money. It's hard. I know. Just leaving the house costs money every day. Every day. I don't think there's a day that goes by that we don't spend money, whether it's putting gas in our car or stopping off at the grocery store or ordering something online or there's always incidentals, things you got to run to the store for, or somebody's birthday or anniversary or weddings or baby showers, and then there's holidays and the necessities, your dryer breaks down or your fridge or your microwave or your washer or your car. It's like there's always something. There's always something. I mean, even if you only have minimal bills, you just have your rent and utilities, you still have your cell phone and internet and car insurance and medical insurance. And then, it's never ending. And at some point, when I do decide to retire, I'm not going to have a pension. I'm just a lowly blue collar worker. It's just going to be Social Security for both my husband and I. So we are going to be on a very fixed income when that happens. And I need to learn to live on less money. And I am trying, honestly, I am trying. I do not spend near as much money as I used to. I don't go shopping on Amazon all the time. I used to deliveries almost every day. I don't do that at all. Very rarely do I get anything on Amazon. The only time I even shop on Amazon anymore is when I get a gift card. So I am learning. I don't use Instacart anymore. I go in and get my groceries. I don't have a housekeeper. We got rid of that. We don't have a gardener. We do all that stuff ourselves. So we have been cutting back. We're trying to, you know, figure out how to live on less money, but we still have grandkids and adult kids, and there's lots of birthdays and anniversaries and holidays, and those things cost money. And we've scaled back on what we used to do for them because they've gotten older and their needs are different now, and their parents take good care of them at the holidays, so they don't need Nana and Papa to go overboard like we used to. But we still want to buy them things, and we do like to travel, and that's expensive. And we live in California, where it is ridiculously expensive. No matter what, no matter how cheap you try to live, you're still going to get taxed to death. And yeah, we've got to figure out how to live out here on a fixed income. We could move back east. We could sell our house and outright buy a piece of property back there. But my kids and my grandkids are here. I might as well. There's no point. No point. I wouldn't want. I Even if I could live like a king or queen somewhere else, what's the point if you don't have your family, the people you love around? You just be existing. So I would rather be a pauper. That's what my mom always said, and live in a shack near my kids than live somewhere else and live in a big old mansion or whatever. That would be meaningless. She tried it. She found out the hard way. My parents, when they first retired, they moved back to Iowa because we're from the Midwest. And she bought a house. Her and my dad bought a house in a small town, and it was nice. But at the time, none of us kids could even afford to go back there to visit her. We were all young and had our families and stuff. So they were there for 1 year, and they were so lonely. They ended up selling their house and coming back here, and she said, learn from my lesson, because it cost thousands to make that move. They lost a lot of money doing that. And she realized, it would have been wiser for them to just sell their house out here and buy like a mobile home or something. They wouldn't have been able to live as nice as they were living, but they'd still be here. They'd still be around their family. But they weren't, once they moved, they came back here, they rented. They had to rent a house. And then my dad went back to work, and they ended up buying a mobile home. And it was hard. It was hard for them. They struggled. My mom passed away when she was about the age I am now. She ended up getting thyroid cancer, but I just don't know what they would have done. Anyway, that's, my husband and I talk about that because we could, quit working right now and live off Social Security, but it wouldn't be that much. We both want to wait until we can get the maximum amount. But at the same time, how long is Social Security going to be around? Who knows? What if it's not there when we're ready to retire? I mean, we are fortunate in that we do have some savings. We do have, equity in our home, but still, if they took away Social Security, how long could we survive? I just can't see them doing that, because there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the United States that are going to be living off of Social Security. What are they going to do? There's a lot of people that have no savings or family to take care of them. Is everybody just going to be out on the streets? I just can't see that happening. I just don't know how that's going to work. But anyway, not only, do we worry about Social Security not being there when we're ready to retire, but you don't want to wait so long to retire that you drop dead, a month later, because you hear stories like that all the time. That does happen. People wait so long to retire, and it's like, we want to live while we still have some life in us. We're still, healthy and fairly young. And, the thought of waiting till we're 70, which, is only 7 years away, but still, for my husband, who's worked all his life, that seems like an eternity. He's looking forward to retiring and still having some, health, having good health, because he did have a heart attack about, I think it's been 6 or 7 years now, very unexpected. He's the epitome of health. He's the last person that should have had one, but it's genetic. Both his parents passed away from the same thing. And so, yeah, that was concerning. Once that happened, that's when he realized, oh, no matter how healthy he is, he may not live to be as old as he was expecting. We were just assuming that he had a grandfather that lived to be in his 90s, or a grandmother. And so he just thought, oh, I've got longevity in my genes. I'll be around forever. But that may not be the case. So now we're thinking, you got to weigh out, you weigh it all out. It's like, do we want to wait till we're 70 and see where we're at health wise? Or do we want to take our chances and, get our money now, because we may not be around that much longer, but you can still work when you're drawing Social Security. So that's an option. My husband's a little bit older than me, so he could retire a little bit sooner. He doesn't have to wait till he's 70, maybe I think 67. So that's not so far away. And then, because right now he's seems like he's in really good health. He's in good shape. He takes his medication and everything, and he's doing good. He's a carnivore, more or less. He's probably been a carnivore for years. We were saying that he's always been a big meat eater, and he's never been a fast food eater or a sweet eater or any of that. He's just basically lived off of meat, and he does like his salads. He'll eat some veggies and stuff like that. So I guess he's a ketovore. He's about as healthy as you could possibly be, and always he exercises, and we have exercise equipment, and he uses it regularly, religiously. I just look at it once in a while. I think I've stepped on it a couple times, but I do go walking, but that's about it for me. So anyway, so yeah, I was thinking today, what's going to happen if all these people, in my generation get to, the age of 70 and there's nothing there? Where's everybody going to go? Are they going to put us in like camps, or do they expect us all to move in with our kids? I wouldn't do that to my kids. They all work hard and they have their own homes and families and stuff. They don't need to worry about, their parents. But another option that we've talked about is selling our home, which I really don't like that idea, because I would like to keep this in the family. We've lived here for about 25 years now. And, but anyway, we've talked about selling it and buying an RV or something and just traveling, which is a great idea. We wouldn't be tied down to the house and all the work that goes along with having a house, all the upkeep, the maintenance, the yard, the house itself, the taxes, and all that stuff. But let's say we get an RV and we travel and we're in good health, but at some point, we're going to get older, and there's going to be a time where we can't continue traveling. Or what if one of us gets sick but the other one's not, and we have to, settle down, we can't travel? What do we do at that point? I mean, there's just so much to think about. But I don't want to waste my life just worrying about what can happen, but I want to be wise too. I don't want to just foolishly, like, let's just sell everything and buy an RV, and then, 2 months later something tragic happens and we end up having to live out of our RV. It's like, can we do that? I know people do, but it's like, do I really want to do that? And how, we haven't ever traveled extensively like that. We've gone on vacation, 2 weeks tops. I can't imagine for months and months, living in a confined space. The two of us, we love each other. We've been married for 43 years, but still, that, who knows how, I wonder how many people have done that, gone out on the road and realized how difficult it is when you're in a confined space with your spouse for ever and ever, every day. I know I would get on my husband's nerves. Yeah, because we just different styles, things that we do. So it's nice to have a home and we can do our own thing and whatnot. But there's just, there's so much to think about when you get older. It's not all. I know we didn't even really think about it. I'll be honest. We did not think about this point in our life. We knew it was going to happen eventually, but it was so far away. We weren't even worried about it. And we're workers. We're blue collar workers. We just keep working. You don't realize that you're going to get tired. Even if you're not sick, you get tired of working, and you're going to want to quit. But unless you, come from a wealthy family or you have pensions or you hit the lotto, most of us don't have it that easy. It's a little more difficult. So we've got to make a plan. And our plan was just like, we bought our home and we're like, okay, we'll just pay it off and, we'll have, $800,000 to do what we want. Well, anymore, that's a drop in the bucket. You couldn't, you could supplement your Social Security if you're lucky, depending on how long you live. And God forbid if you have to be hospitalized or anything like that. And like I said, we want to live our lives. We want to go and do things. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen right now. Thank God I feel as good as I do. Thank God that, because of the carnivore lifestyle, I'm feeling good and strong, and my husband too. So we're not at the point where we're, sickly or decrepit and we can't work anymore. That could happen. That could happen at any time, especially as you get older. You never know what's going to happen. But right now we feel good and, we can continue working and making money because, like I said, I do like to spend money, not necessarily on myself, but just, I have grandkids that I like to spoil and, I want to be able to help my kids should they need it or um, anybody in my family. I've always wanted to be there for them. And if anybody's needed help, and it's nice to be able to help people out and to be able to go and do the things that we want to do. We do like to travel. And I just don't see how we could do that once we're on a fixed income. We, I really need to learn how to cut back even more. Let's just put it that way. I need to learn to cut it way, way back. We have unexpected expenses. Like recently, we've had to replace. Just in the last like 2 years, we've had to replace appliances, refrigerator and a stove and a dryer. And then I bought a car, and now my husband's looking to buy a car, and those things. Nothing lasts forever. Even if we went and bought all new appliances right now, and we both went and bought our cars right now, in 5-10 years we're going to need to replace these things, and it's like, will we be able to? Who knows? So I don't know. That's just, I was already in a funky mood this morning, and then I started thinking about that, and I was like, so I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying to be positive. Like I said, the universe is giving me a day off tomorrow. So I'm going to use that to think about things, to get some sleep, some much needed sleep. And hopefully it'll bring my spirits up. I am feeling better tonight. Just, my daughter called and we talked to her for quite a while. And always just talking to my kids makes me feel better. I just love them so much. But anyway, I am going to let you go because I am going to go to sleep early, try and get 8 hours. But I have some clips from last night. I made some carnivore crack, and I'm going to show you how without burning the house down this time. And I took some video footage of the beautiful fall leaves. I was complaining about how it doesn't feel like fall, which it doesn't. It's still hot and sunny. You'd think it was summer. It's not quite as hot. It's only been in the 70s. It's not as hot. But for some reason, I hadn't noticed the beautiful fall colors around me. I was so fixated on the heat and having to use the air conditioner and just being mad about the whole thing. I didn't stop to realize it is fall and it is beautiful. So yeah, I took some footage. I want to show that to you so you can see how pretty it is, and you can't feel how hot it is, so you won't realize that I had the air on when I'm taking this footage in my car. So anyway, I'm going to end it here, and hopefully you'll stick around to watch all that, and hopefully I will feel better tomorrow, and I'll have a much better video for you. Me feeling tons better, I'm sure. So I'll let you guys go, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Hi, guys. Well, I'm back in the kitchen. I'm going to make some carnivore crack, and I'm going to try not to burn my kitchen down this time. So I think I'm going to need to lower the heat on my butter before we get started here. For those of you that don't know, Carnivore Crack is 2 sticks of salted butter, high jazz, and about 5 or 6 strips of bacon. You fry it up really good. You can use the air fryer or the microwave, whatever. But you're going to want it to be crispy. Ouch, it's hot. But that's it. It's just the butter and the bacon. And then I'm going to put it in the freezer for a little bit. It gets cold and that makes it get hard. And I like the salty sweet. So I add a couple drops of stevia and I mix it in with the butter. A lot of people don't agree with using stevia, and that's fine. If you don't, then don't use it. But I don't really have an issue with it. I started using it a while back, and I think the concern is that it will trigger your cravings for sugar, especially if you are a sugar addict. But it hasn't done that for me. I'm able to use just a little bit in my coffee, or I use it in my chocolate salt, my hot chocolate, and that's about it. That's all I use it for. But it's nice. It's nice to have a little something, something. I admit, you know. But anyway, so yeah, you don't need to add stevia, but I do. I just think it tastes a little bit better. You know, like I said, I like the salty sweet. It's good, and I've just been. I think I need it. I know when I started making this a while back, it helped me with my weight loss because I was having a problem. I wasn't eating enough fat, and I had a hard time with that. And I just noticed once I started adding this to my diet, it seemed like things just went a lot faster. Things were going better for me, and it just helps you stay satiated too, because I had the lap band surgery about 10 years ago, maybe 12 now. And when I had it done, I lost about 50 pounds, and it was great, but the weight slowly crept back on. And my problem was never overeating, it was what I was eating, and I didn't realize that. And I could still eat all the bad stuff that I was eating, like ice cream and milkshakes. Those things go down really easy. I can't eat bread at all since I had that done. I'm also having a really hard time with meats. I have to really slice them thin, and so I have a hard time eating as much of the protein as I need to and the fats. So that's why it's good for me to have, you know, the Carnivore Crack. This goes down pretty easy. So I've just, you know, I try to not eat too much of it, but there's a couple times where I'll eat like half a batch one day and the other half the next. So, but I've gotten a little bit better. Some people say that's okay. You know, I don't know if you watch Steak and Butter Gal, and I think it's Lily Kate, and, you know, they talk about eating butter and how it's really helpful, especially for women and our hormones. And yeah, I know it's good. We need the fats, and it does make a difference. It does make me feel better when I have more fat in my diet, for sure. For sure. Because you know when you're on a diet how you get kind of bitchy. You know, this helps with that. You don't feel that way. You don't get that edgy feeling that you get on other diets. And it's because of the fat, the butter. So yeah, it's really important that you do that. Or at least if you're not going to eat butter, cook stuff in butter. I guess you can use ghee. You just want to make sure you add, especially if you're eating leaner meats, you want to add some fat to it. So I find it's easier to just add butter. I like to have butter on my steak, kind of like steak sauce, but butter. It works out really good. I enjoy that. So, but yeah, I really like the Carnivore Crack. It's really good. And like I said, you don't have to make it sweet. You can just have the bacon and the butter, and that's really good too. But I just like it a little bit sweeter than some people do. Got my bacon ready. Oh, sorry about that. I can't do both. Okay, it's going to turn brown in a second here, so. Okay. show you. That looks perfect. Perfect.